John Locke is considered one of the most influential political philosophers of all time. His ideas on individual liberty and the social contract are cornerstones of modern Western democracy. But what if I told you there is a dark side to his philosophy that he himself was all too aware of? That the very freedoms he championed could be used to justify oppression and even slavery. Welcome to this channel. In today's video, we'll be discussing the dark side of John Locke's philosophy and how it has been used to justify some of the most egregious abuses of power in history. So without further ado, let's get started. Individual liberty is a cornerstone of modern Western democracy. We live in a world where freedom of speech, religion, and assembly are fundamental rights. But these freedoms were not always so. In fact, they were hard-won through centuries of struggle against tyranny and oppression. And one man is considered the father of individual liberty: John Locke. Locke was an English philosopher who lived from 1632 to 1704. He is best known for his book, The Second Treatise on Civil Government, published in 1689. In this book, Locke outlined his theory of the social contract, which had a profound impact on the development of Western political thought. According to Locke, individuals are born with certain natural rights, including the right to life, liberty. These rights are given to us by God and are therefore inalienable. In a state of nature, all people are free and equal. There is no government, only the law of nature. But Locke argued that human beings are social creatures and need a government to protect their natural rights. Therefore, people enter into a social contract and create a government. But Locke's theory of the social contract has a dark side. What happens when the government violates the social contract and infringes on the natural rights of the people? According to Locke, the people have the right to overthrow the government and replace it with a new one. This is the justification for revolution. It is the argument that we are all too familiar with. Governments get overthrown all the time in the name of protecting individual liberty. But who exactly does that protect? Locke's theory of the social contract is based on the idea of individual autonomy. Individuals are free to do whatever they want, as long as they do not infringe on the rights of others. But this raises a question. What if I believe that my freedom is threatened by another person's freedom? For example, what if someone's religious beliefs are preventing them from getting an abortion or engaging in homosexual relations? Would Locke's theory justify my attempt to force them to conform to my own beliefs? The answer, according to Locke, is yes. In a letter to his friend and fellow philosopher Anthony Ashley Cooper, Locke argued that the freedom of conscience does not extend to the freedom of will. In other words, Locke argued that individuals are not free to hold whatever beliefs they want. They must conform to the dictates of reason. If someone's beliefs are preventing them from living a life of luxury and comfort, then Locke would argue that they are not truly free. This is the dark side of John Locke's philosophy. The very freedoms that he championed can be used to justify oppression and even slavery. In Locke's mind, individuals are only free if they conform to the dictates of reason and if their beliefs do not interfere with the freedom of others. But what exactly constitutes interference? Is it possible to draw a clear line between the freedom of conscience and the freedom of will? Or are we always going to be caught in a battle between competing conceptions of liberty? Locke's ideas have been used to justify some of the most egregious abuses of power in history. Slavery, colonialism, and imperialism are all justified in the name of individual liberty. But it is also true that Locke's ideas have been a powerful force for good. The American and French revolutions were both inspired by Locke's philosophy. The United States is still today considered the world's foremost champion of individual liberty. So what is the legacy of John Locke? Was he a champion of individual liberty, or a philosopher who paved the way for some of the worst abuses of power in history? You decide. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. We would greatly appreciate your support.